Welcome to NFL Nexus. Okay, so when a team has a rough year, the big question is always the same. How do you fix it? Well, after a really tough season, the New York Giants are at a massive crossroads. But what's so fascinating here is that the most interesting debate about their future isn't happening in the front office. It's happening in the locker room. We've got two key players, two totally different blueprints for how to build a winning team around their new star quarterback. So which path should they take? Let's dive in and break it all down.
Everything, and I mean everything, starts with this number right here. 4 wins, 13 losses. Look, in the NFL, a record like this is more than just a bad season. It's a siren going off. It's a bright, flashing warning light on the franchise dashboard telling you something is fundamentally broken. You don't get to 4-13 by accident or a few bad bounces. This record screams that the old way of doing things just isn't working anymore. For the Giants organization, this isn't just a number to forget. It's a mandate. It's a clear signal from the football gods that it's time to tear things down and start fresh.
But here's the thing. Even in the middle of all that wreckage, after a season that fans would probably rather forget, you desperately search for one thing to hold on to, one piece of the puzzle that you know is right, a foundation you can actually build on for the future. And for the Giants, well, they found it. They have a genuine, bona fide reason for hope, and that hope has a name: Jackson Dart.
Now let's really dig into why this kid is the silver lining. First off, you've got to remember, he wasn't even the starter for the whole season. He took over in Week 4, and in just those games, he put up almost 2,300 passing yards. But the next two numbers are the ones that should really get you excited. 15 touchdowns to only 5 interceptions. That's a 3-to-1 ratio. For a rookie quarterback, that is absolutely unheard of. It shows a level of poise, of smart decision-making that guys with 10 years in the league struggle with. And then there's this last stat, 9 rushing touchdowns. That's not just good, it's a new franchise rookie record. This tells you he's not just a pocket passer. He is a true dual-threat weapon, the exact kind of dynamic player you can build an entire modern offense around. He's the cornerstone.
Okay, so here's our game plan for today. We're going to start by laying out exactly why the Giants are at such a critical crossroads. Then, we'll get into path number 1, running back Cam Scadabo's plea for a very specific draft pick. After that, we'll look at path number 2, a totally different idea from veteran QB Jameis Winston about a coaching change. Then we're going to connect the dots and talk about the chemistry factor, which is the secret ingredient in both of these ideas. And we'll wrap it all up by asking a huge question. Could we be seeing the beginning of a new player-built future in the NFL? So, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? The Giants have their guy. They have the quarterback. Now what? This isn't just about the next season. The decisions they make right now could define this franchise for the next decade. Get it right? You could have a dynasty. Get it wrong? And you could ruin a promising young career and set your team back for years. Every single move, every draft pick, every free agent signing, every coaching hire has to be viewed through one lens. Does this help maximize Jackson Dart's talent? And it just so happens, his teammates have some very strong and very public opinions on how to do exactly that. All right, let's dive into our first potential path. And this one comes straight from the backfield, from the Giants running back, Cam Scadabo. Now, his idea is interesting because he's not looking at big-name free agents or thinking about the coaching staff. His eyes are glued to the upcoming NFL draft. He believes the absolute best way to support Jackson Dart is to bring in a familiar face, a guy he played with in college. This whole strategy is about building through a pre-existing connection, a ready-made bond.
And Scadabo is not being subtle about it at all. I mean, listen to this quote. "I'm going to try to get all my guys in the NFL. They all have to come to the Giants. Hopefully they will get something worked out." That is a direct public plea to his own front office. He's basically putting on a temporary GM hat, acting as a scout and a recruiter for the team. He's pounding the table for one of his former Arizona State teammates. He obviously knows he doesn't make the final call, but that's what makes it so powerful. You can just feel the passion and how much he genuinely believes this is the right move for the team.
So who is this player Scadabo is campaigning for? It's wide receiver Jordan Tyson. And this is where his argument gets really compelling. First, look at Scadabo himself. In just 8 games, he was a legit weapon for the Giants, racking up over 600 total yards and scoring 7 touchdowns. He's got credibility. Now, imagine pairing that guy with Jordan Tyson, who scouts see as a potential #1 receiver. He's got the versatility to line up inside or outside. He's tough as nails going up for contested catches, and his ceiling is through the roof. And guess what the Giants' biggest need is on offense? A true #1 wide receiver. So what Scadabo is proposing here isn't just bringing in his buddy. He's offering a solution. He's basically handing the front office a pre-packaged offensive duo,
two players who already have that built-in connection and can hit the ground running. Okay, now let's pivot to a completely different school of thought. For path number 2, we turn to the veteran in the quarterback room, Jameis Winston. He's not looking at the draft board or other players, he's looking at the coaching staff, specifically at the vacant offensive coordinator position. His idea isn't about player chemistry, it's about mentorship and creating a comfort zone for Dart by bringing in a trusted voice from his past.
You can really feel the veteran leadership in Winston's quote here. He says, "I'm looking out for our young quarterback, man. I want him to be around people he's familiar with." Now remember, Jameis Winston was a #1 overall pick. He has lived through the insane pressure that's put on a young franchise quarterback. He knows what it's like to have the weight of an entire organization on your shoulders. So his goal here is simple. He wants to build a stable, supportive ecosystem around Dart. And for him, the single most important ingredient in that ecosystem is familiarity. He's convinced that surrounding Dart with people he already knows and trusts is the ultimate cheat code to unlocking his full potential and fast.
And the familiar face Jameis has in mind is a guy named Charlie Wise Jr. Now let's trace this connection, because it tells a powerful story. Step 1. Back at Ole Miss, Jackson Dart is paired with this offensive coordinator, Wise Jr. Step 2. Dart absolutely explodes. Under Wise Jr.'s system, he becomes one of the best quarterbacks in the country, leading the entire nation in total offense and passing efficiency. Step 3. The Giants see this incredible production, and that's a huge reason why they draft him. He comes to New York and shows those same flashes of brilliance as a rookie. So, Step 4 is Winston's big idea. Why reinvent the wheel? Just reunite the duo that created all that success in the first place. If you want the dominant, confident Ole Miss version of Jackson Dart, it just makes sense to hire the man who architected that entire offense. It's about removing the guesswork and putting him in a system where you know he can thrive. And if you need one single number that proves Winston's point, this is it. 180.7. That was Jackson Dart's passing efficiency rating in his final season with Charlie Wise Jr. calling the plays. Now, to put that into perspective for you, in the world of quarterback stats, anything over 150 is considered really, really good. A rating of 180.7 is just otherworldly. It's elite. It signifies a quarterback in total command, a player executing an offensive system to near perfection. So this isn't just Winston having a gut feeling. This is a cold, hard, data-driven argument for a connection that has already proven to be wildly successful.
So let's take a step back. We've got two different players, a young running back and a veteran quarterback. One is looking at the draft, the other at the coaching staff. One wants to bring in a player, the other wants to bring in a coach. On the surface, these two plans seem to be miles apart, right? But if you look just a little bit closer, you'll realize they're both chasing the exact same thing. They're both after the same priceless and often elusive asset in the NFL.
And that priceless asset is chemistry. Now, in the NFL, chemistry isn't some fuzzy, feel-good concept about guys being friends in the locker room. No, it is a tangible, tactical advantage on the football field. It's that unspoken understanding between a quarterback and his receiver that lets them connect on a broken play. It's the shorthand communication between a play caller and his quarterback in a high-pressure 2-minute drill. It's all about that pre-existing trust. It shortens the learning curve, it allows for faster adjustments, and it leads to smoother execution when the pressure is on. What Scotty Bowe and Winston are both arguing, in their own ways, is that you don't have to spend years trying to build this chemistry from scratch. You can import it. And this chart just lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got Cam Scottable's proposal, draft the wide receiver Jordan Tyson. The core idea there is to inject immediate on-field player chemistry. On the other side, you've got Jameis Winston's proposal, hire the offensive coordinator Charlie Wise Jr. The core idea there is to leverage player-coach familiarity. See, they are two totally different paths with two different targets, but they lead to the exact same destination. The singular goal is to use Jackson Dart's successful past relationships to guarantee his future success.
So what's the real big-picture takeaway from all of this? I think the most important part of this story is who these suggestions are coming from. The fact that these ideas are bubbling up from inside the locker room and not from behind a desk in the front office is a really big deal. It could be signaling a major shift in how teams think about building a winner in the modern NFL, a move away from just pure cold analytics and a move towards a more human-centric approach.
Let's boil it all down to the crucial point. Both of these ideas, from two different players with different perspectives, prioritize building on established relationships over just acquiring raw talent. The traditional way of thinking is to find the most talented players based on stats and measurables, plug them into your system, and just hope they all figure it out. But what players like Scotty Bowe and Winston are saying is, hey, wait a minute, why hope? Let's start with what we already know works. It's a truly fascinating approach that puts human connection at the center of the cold, hard business of building a professional football team.
And all this leaves us with one final pretty provocative question to chew on. In today's NFL, should the front office be listening more to the guys in the locker room? I mean, on one hand, the players have a unique ground-level perspective on what the team actually needs to win. But on the other hand, there's always the risk of favoritism or clubhouse politics. The path the Giants choose this offseason is going to be a fascinating test case for this very idea. What do you think they should do? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to read them. And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown, do me a huge favor and hit that like button, subscribe to NFL Nexus, and ring that notification bell so you never miss another deep dive. Also, you can help support the channel by checking out our new coloring books. They're perfect for football fans of all ages, your kids, grandkids, or even for yourself. You can find them by using the link in the description or just by scanning the QR code on your screen right now. Thanks so much for watching.